why you always chase people who don't want you, and how to finally stop. Ever felt like you're running a marathon, pouring all your energy into someone, only to realize they're not even walking towards you? Like you're constantly trying to win over someone who just isn't interested? That gut-wrenching feeling of putting in 100% effort, only to be met with lukewarm replies or, even worse, silence. You're not alone. In fact, it's a super common and incredibly frustrating human experience. It's like you're a 5-star restaurant, offering the most incredible meal, and they're across the street, happily munching on a stale cracker. And instead of realizing you're a 5-star restaurant, you start wondering if your menu isn't good enough, or if your lighting is off. Your heart races, your palms get sweaty. You replay every interaction, trying to figure out what you could have done differently. We've all been caught in this frustrating loop. But what if I told you there are 3 simple, powerful reasons why we do this? And even better, 3 actionable, psychology-backed steps you can take to finally break free and start attracting the right connections? Stick around, because the last trick is the one most people never expect, and it's a total game changer. Our first reason taps into something deep within us, the allure of the challenge. Think about it. When something is easy to get, we often don't value it as much. But when it's hard, when it requires effort, suddenly it becomes more desirable. This isn't just about people. It's how our brains are wired. Psychologists call this the scarcity principle. When someone is emotionally unavailable or seems uninterested, our brain often interprets that as scarce or high value, triggering a primal urge to pursue. It's not about them being better. It's about the chase itself feeling like a conquest. We get hooked on the idea of winning them over, believing that if we just try harder, they'll finally see our worth. But this mindset actually sabotages us, because we're chasing the idea of a win, not a genuine connection. So how do we flip this script and stop falling for the scarcity trap? That brings us to our first solution, which is all about shifting your focus. Here's how. The first step to breaking free is to reclaim your energy and focus it inward. Instead of asking, what can I do to make them like me? Start asking, what do I truly need and deserve in a connection? This isn't selfish. It's self-respect. When you chase someone who doesn't want you, you're essentially telling yourself that their validation is more important than your own peace. Stop trying to earn their affection. Instead, invest that same incredible energy into yourself, your hobbies, your friendships, your personal growth. When you become your own 5-star restaurant, radiating confidence and self-worth, you naturally become more attractive, not just to others, but to yourself. This isn't about playing games. It's about raising your own value so high that chasing someone who doesn't see it becomes utterly unappealing. But there's another huge reason we get stuck in this cycle, and it has everything to do with what we believe we deserve. And understanding this next point is absolutely crucial for lasting change. Our second reason is a bit tougher to swallow. Sometimes, chasing people who don't want us feels familiar. If you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional, or you constantly had to fight for attention, your brain might unconsciously seek out similar patterns in adulthood. It's not because you want to be rejected, but because the chase and the uncertainty can feel like a twisted kind of comfort, a pattern you recognize. This is often linked to attachment styles, a concept in psychology that explains how our early experiences shape our relationships. If you have an anxious attachment style, for example, you might be more prone to pursuing those who are distant, because the push-pull dynamic feels like the normal way to experience connection, even though it's incredibly painful. It's a subconscious loop, and it keeps us stuck. So, how do we break free from these ingrained patterns? It starts with a simple yet powerful act of self-awareness. Here's the next step. The second solution is to identify your patterns and challenge your beliefs. Take a moment to honestly reflect. Is this a recurring theme in your life? Do you often find yourself drawn to people who are emotionally unavailable or inconsistent? Once you recognize the pattern, ask yourself, what belief am I holding on to that makes me think I have to chase love? Is it I'm not good enough? I have to earn affection? Challenge these beliefs. They are not facts. They are stories you've told yourself. Start rewriting that story. Tell yourself, I am worthy of reciprocal love. I deserve someone who is excited to be with me. This isn't about magical thinking. It's about consciously rewiring your brain to recognize and accept healthy, balanced connections. When you stop believing you need to chase, you open yourself up to being chosen. But there's one final, incredibly practical step that ties all this together and gives you the power to walk away for good. You won't want to miss it. Our third reason is a classic: the fear of missing out, or FOMO, combined with the nagging what if. When we chase someone, even if they're clearly not interested, there's often a part of us that fears if we stop, we might miss out on the one. We cling to the smallest crumbs of attention, exaggerating their significance. Because the thought of letting go feels like giving up on a potential future, even if that future is entirely imagined. The what if they change their mind, or what if I didn't try hard enough? The questions can be paralyzing. We get caught in a cycle of hope and disappointment, constantly looking for signs that aren't there, because the alternative, accepting the reality and moving on, feels like a loss. This fear keeps us tethered to situations that drain us, preventing us from seeing all the incredible, available connections around us. So, how do we conquer this fear and finally choose peace over pursuit? The answer is simpler than you think. The third and final solution is to set clear boundaries and practice radical acceptance. Radical acceptance means acknowledging the reality of the situation, without judgment or trying to change it. They don't want you? Accept it. It hurts? Accept that too. This isn't defeat. It's freedom. Once you accept the reality, you can then set clear boundaries. This might mean limiting contact, unfollowing them on social media, or even having a direct, honest conversation if appropriate. The boundary isn't to punish them. It's to protect your peace and your energy. It's about saying, I deserve someone who meets me halfway, and I won't settle for less. This isn't always easy, but every time you choose yourself, every time you enforce a boundary, you strengthen your self-worth and create space for the connections that truly align with what you deserve. So there you have it. The 3 powerful reasons we chase people who don't want us, and the 3 actionable steps to finally break free. First, reclaim your energy and focus inward, becoming your own 5-star restaurant. Second, identify your patterns and challenge those old beliefs, rewriting your story. And third, practice radical acceptance and set clear boundaries to protect your peace. Remember, you are worthy of a love that is reciprocal, enthusiastic, and brings you joy, not constant anxiety. If this video resonated with you and gave you that aha moment, please hit that like button, subscribe for more empowering content, and then go watch my video on how to build unshakable self-worth to continue your journey of self-love and attraction. You've got this.